greatest treasures. And being a good steward is also being a good neighbor and listening to the American people who we represent. Mr. President, thank you once again for fulfilling your campaign promise to give a voice to our local communities and states. Let's be clear. The Antiquities Act grants the President the authority to declare historic landmarks, historic and prehistoric structures, and other objects of historic or scientific interest. To be sure, the Antiquities Act has been an effective tool for preserving some of our greatest treasures for our generations to come. The Act also specifies in law the President to designate the smallest area compatible with proper care and management of the objects to be protected. Despite this clear directive, smallest area has too often become the exception rather than the rule. As an example, Teddy Roosevelt, a president that I deeply admire. His first monument, the Devil's Tower in Wyoming, was about 1,200 acres. Yet, in recent years, we've seen single monuments span tens of millions of acres. In some cases, monument designations have placed public lands off limits for grazing, fishing, mining, multiple use, and even outdoor recreation. A reminder that's inscribed in Roosevelt's Arch at the Yellowstone National Park, our nation's first national park, for the benefit and enjoyment of the people. And that's our mission. But somewhere along the way, the Act has become a tool of political advocacy rather than public interest. And it's easy to see why designations, in some cases, are viewed negatively by those in local communities that are impacted the most. Let's be clear. This executive order does not remove any monuments. And this executive order does not weaken any environmental protections on any public lands. Under President Trump's leadership, I'm looking forward to working with and being an advocate for local, state, and tribal representation, and to review the designations and provide recommendations for action where appropriate. Thank you again, Mr. President and Mr. Vice President, for being here today and hearing the concerns of our American citizens. Now I'd like to turn it over to my friend, Vice President Mike Pence, a man of faith, conviction, courage, and a man who loves his country, and I think embodies the motto, duty, country, honor. Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Secretary Zinke, for that kind introduction, and to the governors and the senators, distinguished leaders who are gathered here today. I know I speak for all of them when I say thank you for stepping forward to serve our country at this important time. You are a true man of the West, and the country is fortunate to have someone of your experience and knowledge leading the Department of the Interior. So thank you very much. You know, it's the greatest privilege of my life to serve as Vice President to President Donald Trump. He is a man of his word. In nearly 100 days, President Trump has been delivering on the promises that he made to the American people, one after another. He assembled a world-class cabinet. He's been fighting for American jobs every single day, even since Election Day. He's put a renewed emphasis on American energy. He's slashing through a mountain range of red tape emulating out of the last administration. Thanks to his leadership, more than 500,000 jobs have been created in the year 2017. Businesses and consumers today are more confident than they have been in years and, by some measures, in decades. In Justice Neil Gorsuch, President Trump kept his promise to nominate to the Supreme Court a justice in the mold of the late and great Justice Antonin Scalia. He's securing our border, reducing illegal immigration, taking dangerous illegal criminals off of our streets. And we've seen a dramatic reduction in illegal immigration at our borders since the outset of this administration. President Trump has also been putting America first by rebuilding our military, restoring the arsenal of democracy, and signing legislation to give our veterans the care that they deserve. And today, this administration will outline the President's vision for tax reform that will include one of the largest tax cuts for businesses and individuals in American history. In a word, President Donald Trump is in the promise-keeping business. He's already signed 28 bills into law, 30 executive orders, and today the President is delivering on yet another promise to the American people. In just a few moments, President Trump will begin to undo one of the great federal overreaches of recent decades, the abuse of the Antiquities Act by politicians in Washington, D.C., to grab land and power at the American people's expense. So under his leadership, we're going to work with states to restore power to the people who have the best ability to protect our nation's natural, historic, and cultural treasures. And so I say with great gratitude for the energy that he has brought to this task for nearly 100 days, that it is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump.
Thank you, Mike. He's been a great vice president, a great help, and everybody loves Mike Pence. So I just want to thank you for your service. It's been incredible. It's a real pleasure to be at the Department of Interior, where you help preserve the splendor and the beauty of America's natural resources. And I can tell you, the group that's in here right now, they're really doing the job. Right, Lisa? They're doing a good job? We're going to take care of Alaska, too. Don't worry about it. And they protect the ability of the people to access and utilize the land which truly belongs to them and belongs to all of us. Secretary Ryan Zinke is doing an incredible job, and he never overlooks the details. He's a detail person. Soon after he was confirmed, we had a snowstorm, big one, and he was out there on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial shoveling the snow all by himself. And he's a strong guy. He did a good job. He did a very, very good job, but we're proud of him. In the first 100 days, we've taken historic action to eliminate wasteful regulations. They're being eliminated like nobody's ever seen before. There's never been anything like it. Sometimes I look at some of the things I'm signing, I say, maybe people won't like it, but I'm doing the right thing. And no regular politician's going to do. I don't know if you folks would do. I will tell you, literally, some politicians have said, you're doing the right thing. I don't know if I would have had the courage to do some of these things, but we're doing them because it's the right thing to do. And it's for the good of the nation. We're returning power back to the people. We've eliminated job-destroying regulations on farmers, ranchers, and coal miners, on auto workers, and so many other American workers and businesses. Today I'm signing a new executive order to end another egregious abuse of federal power and to give that power back to the states and to the people where it belongs. The previous administration used a 100-year-old law known as the Antiquities Act to unilaterally put millions of acres of land and water under strict federal control. Have you heard about that? Eliminating the ability of the people who actually live in those states to decide how best to use that land. Today, we are putting the states back in charge. It's a big thing. I'm pleased to be joined by so many members of Congress and governors who have been waiting for this moment, including Governor Herbert of Utah. Thank you, Governor. Governor LePage of Maine, who, by the way, has lost a lot of weight. I knew him when he was heavy, and now I know him when he's thin, and I like him both ways, okay? Done a great job. Governor Calvo of Guam, thank you. Governor Torres from the Northern Mariana Islands, thank you, Governor. I also want to recognize Senator Orrin Hatch, who, believe me, he's tough. He would call me and say, you got to do this. Is that right, Orrin? You didn't stop. He doesn't give up. And he's shocked that I'm doing it, but I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. But I really have to point you out. You didn't stop. And Mike, the same thing. So many people feel, Mike Lee, so many people feel so strongly about this. And so I appreciate your support and your prodding and your never-ending prodding, I should say, because we're now getting something done that many people thought would never, ever get done. And I'm very proud to be doing it in honor of you guys, okay? Thank you. Altogether, the previous administration bypassed the states to place over 265 million acres. That's a lot of land. Million acres, think of it. 265 million acres of land and water under federal control through the abuse of the monuments designation. That's larger than the entire state of Texas. In December of last year alone, the federal government asserted this power over 1.35 million acres of land in Utah, known as Bears Ears. I've heard a lot about Bears Ears, and I hear it's beautiful. Over the profound objections of the citizens of Utah. The Antiquities Act does not give the federal government unlimited power to lock up millions of acres of land and water, and it's time we ended this abusive practice. I've spoken with many state and local leaders, a number of them here today, who care very much about preserving our land and who are gravely concerned about this massive federal land grab. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And now we're going to free it up, which is what should have happened in the first place. This should never have happened. That's why today I'm signing this order and directing Secretary Zinke to end these abuses and return control to the people of Utah, the people of all of the states, the people of the United States. Every day we are going to continue pushing ahead with our reform agenda to put the American people back in charge of their government and their lives. And again, I want to congratulate the Secretary. I want to congratulate Orrin and Mike and all of the people that worked so hard on bringing it to this point. And tremendously positive things are going to happen on that incredible land, the likes of which there is nothing more beautiful anywhere in the world. But now tremendously positive things will happen. So I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody for being here. God bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'll sign. This is a big one.
Sure is.
You ready? I think you have to maybe give him the pen. What do you have?
I'm with President, I'll tell you that.
Circuit ruling?
I'm never surprised by the Ninth Circuit. As I said, we'll see him in the Supreme Court.
Anyway, thank you for your help.
Jim, let it go. Let it go.